Hey, it's Kathy McAllister here, T-Wife Creations, and we are going to be working on the Gobble Gobble window insert. So I'm just getting ready to do some basic painting. This little guy goes like that. It's got its own little Gobble Gobble tag. So it's really pretty straightforward. And I think it's going to be fun. So I'm going to do a lot of sponging because I like the texture. And this is a Sawdust Makery design that I've cut out. And I'm going to just kind of follow her recommended colors because I kind of like them. She had a picture of how she painted this. And I don't know what paint she used, but this is my interpretation. So this base is backwards right now, so the feathers aren't matching up exactly. So these feathers are going to be Aqua Sky to start with. And then I think I decided Baby Duck. I got like all my turquoise blues out when I was trying to decide which one I was going to use, but I decided Aqua Sky. Okay, so, and then Baby Duck, and then I'll go with, I think, the Warm Sunset as opposed to a pumpkin color. I mean, this is a pumpkin color, but it's also more of a autumn color. And then the other color that I like a lot for autumn is Country Red. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the base of the body, I think I decided on milk chocolate. So I kind of liked honey brown too, but it's really light. So it's really light. So I think I'm going milk chocolate. So I am just going to start sponging on some base colors and including painting the back. I don't think I need to paint the base underneath here, although I always like to have that strip painted. So the next time you see this bird, he's going to be all painted on his feathers with some base coats. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so here we all colorful, a little over the top colorful. So now we have to begin to tone everything down. So I'll go over this again. Aqua Sky, Baby Duck, Warm Sunset, and Country Red up here and here. Okay. So, oh yeah, and this was milk chocolate. That was milk chocolate. So I have dark chocolate to shade this, and also I'm going to use the dark chocolate to shade pretty much everything. But first, I want to bring in some tones that are more related to kind of harmonic tones, complementary tones. So Baby Duck, I'm going to try some marigold for shading. The Warm Sunset, I'm going to try some burnt orange. The Aqua Sky, I'm going to try shading with desert turquoise. Now I got something stuck there. I don't know what that is. Okay. And the Country Red, I don't know if I like the deep burgundy or not. I may go straight to dark chocolate. So that's up in the air. So those are the colors that I'm going to shade with first. And then I also am going to be doing dry brushing. And I haven't picked my colors for that because those will be lighter tones. Like probably this is going to be dry brushed with honey brown. Okay, so I'm going to start shading. Alrighty, let's see here. So I will start with my Aqua Sky and come in shade with, oops, find my shading brush first. Oh, so we'll try this Desert Turquoise. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to use a dry brush. I just am curious how it looks in comparison to the floating. So this is really a kind of faster way. Sometime if you want to do a shade, I think I'm going to move to dry brush shading. The only problem is you have to have a number of dry brushes because you can't really wash them out. Okay. So move like from blue to yellow. You can go from yellow to orange to red and even brown, but that's a bit of a jump. Now, by doing my shading with a dry brush, I can gradually add in some lighter colors too, and then start highlighting. So Whisper Turquoise is very light. I don't think let's look at, so we were using Aqua Sky. So Aqua Sky and Crystal Blue work very well together. Let me see. And then we can lighten up as we go towards the top with warm white or snow white. Okay, so now in a sense you're mixing colors, but it will be lighter than where we were. So we're just gonna start coming in here and adding a little bit of lightness. Try to go in the direction of the feather marks here. The body's going to go there, so you're really not going to see a lot. Okay, so the next time you do this, it will be even lighter. You don't want it to be that wet though. Okay, so now if I come back with a little bit of white, and this is, okay, got some warm white. You could go with Snow White on this. It's, you know, it wouldn't matter if you did warm white or Snow White. So now I've mixed colors, so I'm going to come back and it's going to get a little lighter. So, and it's up to you whether you want to accentuate the lines with shading. I don't know if I want to do that. Let me see what it looks like. If I hate it, it's going to be harder to kind of fix it, but I don't think it's required. I really don't. I'll just finish it up. But yeah, I don't. So one thing I did when I was doing this base coating, I sponged it. And anytime you brush or sponge and you've got these scored etched lines, the paint is going to settle into the crevices. There's just nothing you can do. That's what's going to happen. So I don't like the way that looks. I don't think I can get rid of it either. So no on the lines around the etching. Okay, so as I was saying, the paint settles into the crevices. So what I do, and I did two layers of each base coat. So I did 2 layers of the aqua sky, and in between I used my X-Acto knife and I got the paint out of the crevices. It takes a little bit of time to do it, but I think it's worth doing. And because you can see my lines easily, I don't feel like I need to come back and do a shade on those lines. Unless I come back with a different color, not the blue, but say dark chocolate or asfaltum. But I don't know. I don't know if I like that look. So, okay, so now we've got quite a bit of lightness up here, and we can go even one step lighter, a little bit more. Oops, that was Snow White. Well, okay, it's definitely gonna be lighter now. I meant to do Warm White, and it's Snow White. So, and again, I kind of like dragging the white across the top. So, and I'm again trying to keep it in the direction of the feathers. Okay, so it is no longer one-dimensional. It has form to it now. It has layers. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with the yellow, which is baby duck, and I'm going to use the marigold. I'll set that aside, and I will get a brush and marigold. Okay, I have some brighter colors too, but that would be more for the highlight. So the marigold is more for your shading color. And this is the first bit of shading. I still may come back and use brown, so I haven't quite figured that out yet. This is me just working through it. So this, I'm not really going down in the direction of the feathers. I'm just kind of going along the bottom like a shade. So when you have these separate pieces like this and you can work along the edge, doing a dry brush like that is pretty useful. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go a little bit brighter. So we have this cadmium. Okay. Definitely is much brighter. Okay, and then I have this banana cream. Okay. Now I'm going to use the Snow White that's on my palette, or you can use Warm White. Once you mix it with yellow, it is kind of, it's warmer anyway. Now I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I'm going to revisit the Snow White and wipe this down again. Make sure that's dry. Okay, I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go in again with a little bit more Snow White. As it gets lighter, you don't want to bring it quite as far down. So, okay. So we'll see how this starts playing out, because we can always change it. Oh yeah, we got to do the feet. We got to do the feet. It's starting to look really interesting. Okay. So, while I had the darker color, I should have done that, but I forgot. So I'm just going to use a little of that white. I'm going to come back to the marigold. I'm feeling a need for a little bit of orange, so I'm going to get the Warm Sunset. Just a little here and there, just to brighten it up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to use a little bit more of this cadmium yellow. Okay, while I'm doing that, ooh, hello, I'm going to work on the wattle as well. So I want it to be significantly different than the nose heart. So I'm not really making it yellow per se, but I'm kind of changing it up a little bit without completely getting rid of the red. Okay. I really want a little bit more of this cadmium to show through. And if at any time you decide you don't like what you're getting, you can return to the original color, which is baby duck. And I might add in a little bit of baby duck because it is changing quite a bit. And I just play with this. You know, there's no particular right combination. Oh, there was a little baby. Nope, that's not baby duck. That's banana cream. Gosh, the banana cream and the baby duck are very close. Huh, that's interesting. That is interesting. So I'm just bringing in just a little bit more of that baby duck. But, you know, it's a dirty brush, so you're not really getting the full sense of the color. And that's a little bit of Snow White, kind of back where we were in the beginning. And I'm going to want it to be lighter than that. I have to get myself another napkin in a sec. so I'm going to try to get out more of that yellow so I can get more white. Okay, there we go. That's pretty dimensional. That is pretty dimensional. Okay, so come back with a little bit brighter color there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to just use a baby wipe, and I'm going to move on to my warm sunset piece. So here's the warm sunset piece, and we are taking some burnt orange. And we are doing that dry brushing. My brush is still a little wet because I did wash it, which you're not really supposed to do. So the burnt orange is not looking as dark. Like I said, I was gonna see whether I want it just to go straight into using some of that dark chocolate. So it's just a tiny smidge darker. So I'm going to use a little of that dark chocolate. And so the dark chocolate dirty brush will still kind of be, it have some orange tint to it, but okay, that shows up. Now we have a lot of brown in here. I might use a little bit of that brown. Well, nope. I'll go back over here. And while I have that brown, I can start adding it in places on all the pieces. I'll go ahead and put it down here. More dark chocolate. And I'm not even sure that this is dark enough. All right. So now this has got so much brown in it now. I don't know if I want to. I think I want to get a clean brush. Okay, so let's see. So we're using Warm Sunset, and we need to bump it up to the next level, to a lighter level. So we have bright orange we could use. There's jack-o'-lantern orange. So that would be like the medium step up. And then, of course, once we add in a bit of white, then that lightens it up. So, I don't know. I kind of like the jack-o'-lantern. Kind of like the jack-o'-lantern. Okay, so again, we're taking that along the angle of the feathers. It's brighter, but it's not like super brighter. Okay. Well, I've got some of that orange. I'm just going to add a little bit of color. Okay, I am going to use just a little bit of yellow to change the color. So I'm going to use a little bit of banana cream. Not sure if I like that with the brown that I put in. That Gobble Gobble tag. I'm not sure. All right. So let me add in a little bit of white. That is actually pretty light. I don't know if I need to go any lighter than that. Still feel like I need to go whiter on the tops of this. And I don't like the brown very much. I may have to fix that too. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I needed a little bit of white. That's really showing up on there. Okay, so this is going to need some lightening. So let's see. So I had pulled a dark red, a deep burgundy, and I've already put the dark chocolate there, but it's going to look to see on top of that. Yay, nay. I don't know. All right. Okay, so need to go a little bit lighter. I'm going to use a little of this vintage pink. So that had the vintage pink in it. Might be a little bit too much. So sometimes when your sheet colors end up being too strong, I like to, you can either do a dry brush over the top or a color wash over the top. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do a dry brush. So you take your dirty brush and then you take the original color, which was milk chocolate, and you're going to blend it so that you can soften up some of the edges of this. You don't want to make the pink completely go away, but you do want to just soften it up a little bit so it's not quite so strong. Okay, there you go. Okay. So it's kind of hard to know whether I want to go darker on my shading on some of these pieces, but anyway, I'm going to move on to the honey brown and work on this character here. Using my dirty brush because the colors were not too far off, so I'm just going to get it really dry. Okay, so we got the pulling over the top of the head, and then we're just going to start swirling pretty much everywhere. This is a little bit wetter. So if it's wetter and I know like I want it to be lighter up on the edge of the head, I'll start it up there. Okay. So let's see what I still need to do to this. I want to bring up the tone of this, make it lighter. So I've been using honey beige. I need to keep using a little bit more. No, honey brown. And then I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. Go a little bit lighter to really give it some character. Now I'm going over the face, and if I feel like I need to come back with a little bit more blush cheek color, I will. Okay, I'm going to go a bit lighter now. Let's see. Okay, there's fawn. I was looking for toffee. That one is cocoa, and that's really close to the, it's somewhat close to the honey brown, honey beige. I keep calling it the wrong thing. Honey brown. Oh my goodness, I cannot get that straight in my head. But I want toffee, and I'm not seeing it in my paints here. Where are you, toffee? Cannot find it. Cannot find it. Sand. Ah, finally. Oh my goodness, that took a while. Okay. So cocoa is not the color I want. Fawn and toffee. You often use these two colors together when you're doing things. So I don't know. Well, I've got a dirty brush, so let me use it. I kind of want a little bit of the honey brown. Well, you can't see what I'm working on over here, but I took a little bit of the honey brown, and now I'm taking a little bit of the toffee, and I'm going to kind of blend them. So I don't want to really just rush into using straight toffee because it's very light. So always remember, your safe is going over the areas you don't mind. Going over first the areas that you don't mind that can be lighter. So, but you don't really want it to look too streaky like that did. I think I call my style of dry brushing, kind of, I'm a dry brushing opportunist. That means that once I have a dirty brush, and if I'm able to go from this piece to another piece to another piece, and I'm using some of the same colors, and I'm blending and I'm layering. So I don't like work exclusively on this and then exclusively on a feather piece, or I try to integrate all the colors together. So I'll travel around my piece dry brushing. So, and I've been doing that technique for quite a few years, because I started doing it when I used to dry brush bisque ceramics. I always used to do Father Christmases, and you kind of travel with your dry brush, and it helps to bring continuity of color across the whole piece, because you're bringing in similar complementary colors all over. And if you happen to have a particular color in your brush, but you need it in another area, then you do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go more toffee, less of the honey. Okay, let me get a little bit more toffee. I need to shake that toffee. It's all separated. Yeah, let me get a little bit more now that I shook it up. Okay, so we want to add in a little bit more warmth again. So I have this vintage pink. This is my favorite pink. Absolutely love it. And we need it in his tummy area, and then we're going to come back also in his cheeks. So it's still a little wet, so I'm not pressing real hard. As it gets drier, you can press a little bit harder. And come back up to his cheeks. There we go. Looking good. Now that I've got pink in here, I have to be careful if you switch to white to go at the top, because you'll get some pink tones in it. So I'm not sure that's what I want to do. I could use it with that, since that's got a little bit more yellow in it. Okay. Okay. Just needed a little bit of white highlight. Very good. Okay. And then this piece, I got caught off camera. My son rang, and so while I was talking to him, I was adding dry brush of this neon fiery red right up here. So I just want to go ahead and add in a little bit of lighter tones. So off camera you didn't see, I was dry brushing. After I did the vintage pink, then I came back with the neon fiery red. So there we go. So that's good. This doesn't have any white on it either. much white now. Okay, let's see how this is starting to shape up. I think that's pretty much done. Get rid of that palette paper before I drag my hand into it. Yeah, I still don't like that. All right. So the nose is pretty subdued. It isn't really as bright as I might like. So I'll have to figure something out. Oh, feet. Yeah, it's looking decent. Looking decent. I mean, it was relatively easy to do this, which is why I'm looking at this going, well, what else should I do? You know, if you wanted to do something fun, you could use gold in these lines, or like I've got a brown pen as well. Let's see if I do it over here where no one can see it, so it would just follow the grooves. So that's one way to make them darker. And let me see what the gold looks like. Okay. So these go so far in that you don't actually see them. Ooh. So the gold looks dark, but it also has a shimmer. I think I might like that. I think. And then in here, this can be gold as well. It's trying to spill out. I might go back and dry brush that aqua sky over the top of this again, because I don't like this down here, and then that would fix some of this gold it's kind of going outside of the lines. Yeah, that's kind of cool, but I definitely need to fix that. I don't know. I kind of like that. You have to be really careful when you're doing this because you don't want the gold to slip. I'm just hoping. Yep, there's a little slip. But if it just does that, that's okay. But if it goes way, sometimes it's almost like your pen just pops off. Yeah, that's really kind of a different look. I don't know. Actually, it is awfully dark. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to like this or not. hard to say. Oops. I definitely like the gold on the tag. It looks better in person than it does on camera. Sometimes what I have to do to see if I like this is take a picture of it. Yeah, I think I like it though. It's a little something different than just, because the lines are a little bit lost, and that makes it pop. I mean, you could do a brown as well. Okay, so I'm going to darken the eyes. I'm going to add in the lines, and I might play around with this, fix that, and the other thing I have to do is the sign. Gobble, gobble, gobble. So it goes into, it's an insert that goes into the window box, and then the sign is at the bottom, and I don't have the window box with me. So these letters will pop out and they go on top. So I'll figure something out. I'll work on that. Okay, so I'm just going to do some finishing touches. I've already posted what the final actually looks at the beginning of this video, and then I'm going to post it at the end as well so you can revisit it. But I'm going to just finish up, but that's basically how I would do this piece. All right, well, this is Kathy McAllister of T-Wife Creations. I appreciate you coming in and watching, and we'll see you the next time. Goodbye.